Alright guys, let's continue on with my Disney canon reviews and talk about the next film in the chronological release, Sleeping Beauty. Now, Sleeping Beauty came out in 1959 and is the third Disney princess movie, I guess you could say, overall. And this one I feel like was an important one in its time frame because even though we had like the big first couple of Disney movies. Then we had all of the all these shorts that were created into films from the 40s to the 50s during World War II, and then we got like Cinderella, Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland, Lady and the Tramp, and then Sleeping Beauty. So I like that this one is kind of one of its last in a while great Disney movies because after this, even though I enjoy these movies, we got like Sword in the Stone, Jungle Book, and we got a lot of these, and 101 Dalmatians. We got a lot of these movies where, for me personally, after this, for a while, there I kind of got disinterested in. Like, I'm not really as big of a fan of those, and I will review them next in their order of their release, but like the Jungle Book and 101 Dalmatians, those ones are ones that I kind of, in Sort of the Zone, those are kind of ones that I just kind of think are forgettable. Even though they have good things about them, and I'll of course review them, but Sleeping Beauty is the last one for a while that I'll enjoy reviewing, I guess. Even though the other ones are fine that are coming up next, but after that, it's going to take a while until I find some that I really love. And it starts to be the gradual decline of Disney because in the 70s to the 80s, late 80s, Disney was in a really big slump after Walt died. Um, but anyways, let's talk about Sleeping Beauty today. First of all, like most of these Disney musicals, I think the score in this is incredible. The songs are incredible. Some of Disney's absolute best. I think that Once Upon a Dream is one of the most memorable songs ever made. Like, it's got one of the most memorable tunes. It is such an easy song to hum, an easy song to immediately know, no matter what, you will just know immediately what this song is. It is incredible. And this isn't a full on musical because there's that song, and it feels like there's not anything really else in terms of musical score, like, or songs. There's more of a score to it. But that song in particular, they gave every other Disney movie a run for its money. I think in terms of like upping the musical songs. And yeah, this is the only one in this movie, but it really works incredibly well, and it's one of my favorites. And the animation in this one, in particular, from the ones that came out before this, is very different from any previous ones, theatrical Disney films animated, because it's in a weird blocky type of animation. And I don't mean to say that in a demeaning way, because the animation is great in this movie. It's just very different and distinct from the other movies where it's a very block-like world, and like the way that the animation is framed, it's like you're looking at like an old painting on the wall. Like, all this animation, I think every shot of this movie is intricately animated in a way where you see so many details and so many things, especially on Blu-ray, because of course I've got the Blu-ray of it. I've got it on DVD and VHS too, but the Blu-ray in particular, like, this is one of those classic Disney movies that needs to be seen on Blu-ray because of the physical, like, detail on all of the animation, and you didn't get that on VHS or most part DVD, so definitely get the Blu-ray if you haven't, if you love this movie. It's really worth it just for the animation, looking at it alone. Um, so I really do like the animation. It's very cool and it's very detailed, and I like how they use the aspect ratio in this movie. I don't know the name of the aspect ratio in this, but it's like where it's flatter along the screen. I don't know what it's called, but I really love the aspect ratio because it feels very long and wide with the shots um, of everything happening in the movie. Now, the story in this is different than like Snow White and Cinderella because this one is not as much about Aurora. Like, she's got like the opening and like then she's asleep the whole movie. But it focuses around the three good fairies and Philip, and it's interesting that they went this route because the the first two princess movies, Snow White and Cinderella, focused on them and focused on them having like like them being all nice and whimsical. And in this one, Aurora has like a scene or two in the song "Once Upon a Dream" with Philip, but then she is put to sleep, like in a death-like sleep for the whole movie until the end. So it's about the three good fairies and Philip, who the three good fairies are really cool characters. Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather. They're all really fun and really interesting characters to take over because Disney movies like this get a lot of criticism over the princess characters because they're all whimsy and they don't have any like personality. And I can see where people come from with that, but I still love these characters. I don't have to have full in-depth character development on these people, on these Disney princesses, especially in this time frame. But I really do like that they went that route and had the fairies be the main characters instead. Because Philip doesn't even get any lines either, really. He gets like 2 lines, and most of them are singing. Like the prince characters in, again, Snow White and Cinderella, they're just there to basically forward the plot. They're not really there to have dialogue. And this character doesn't have it either, really, Philip. He has a couple lines. So he's not any different than the last 2 Disney movies with a prince character. So I really like the fairies. They're really fun characters. They're really nice. They've got great personalities. I like how protective they are of Aurora. I like how they will do anything to help her out. Because they go into hiding for 16 years and watch her for 16 years, so they're going to form a good bond with her. Now, let's talk about Maleficent, one of the best Disney villains, I think, ever in any Disney movie. Like, she's up there. Like, I don't know if she's my absolute favorite, but she is incredible. She barely has any screen time in this movie, but I love the fact that she is that important and that memorable and influential with her design, with how the way she talks, with the evil personality she's got based on the voice actress. This voice actress also did Lady Tremaine from Cinderella before this, so like 9 years before this, when Cinderella came out in 1950. But she played another evil character again as Maleficent in this movie. And that woman's voice is just incredible. Like, she's got such a great, demeaning, like, dastardly voice, and I really like that voice of that character. And the funny thing is, since this one is, again, an older Disney movie, it's not going to describe, like, oh, why is Maleficent all mad? Why is she all mad? And it makes it just seem like it's because she wasn't invited to a party that whenever Aurora is born. But if you watch Maleficent, the 2014, like, pseudo reboot live action thing with Angelina Jolie, like, they explain that in the movie, and I actually do like that, even though this works without the explanation, without the reason why Maleficent is all mad. But I just got the interpretation in this movie alone that she was just evil. Like, she was just an evil being, and that's all she was. So I do love her interpretation in this movie of Maleficent. And again, I want to go back to the visuals of this movie because, again, Maleficent looks visually so cool with the horns on her, and all of these colors pop and shine. And I like how there's that color distinction between Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather, where like they keep arguing, like, make it blue, make it pink, make it red, or like they keep changing the color of Aurora's dress whenever they're making it. And I just love how visually everything pops out, and I love how this has so many incredible cinematic shots, especially because of the aspect ratio. Whenever the song Once Upon a Dream is playing and it cuts to the outward view of Aurora and Philip dancing in the middle, like in the forest, that is one of the most iconic shots in any movie, and it just is truly an incredible shot and an incredible song to boot. But I really love the fact that this is one of the coolest visually pleasing Disney movies out there, like animation wise. Like, there's so much incredible depth and detail that goes into this, and the colors pop and everything just works incredibly well in it. And I like how whenever Aurora goes into the trance to like touch the spindle of a spinning wheel and like go to sleep, that always creeped me out as a kid. Like, whenever she just was phased and like went up to like that spinning wheel, I don't know why that creeped me out as a kid, but I thought that was really cool rewatching it because it's just kind of a creepy scene. And the last 10 minutes of this movie I think are the best, besides the song that plays earlier in the movie. But in terms of like the most interesting is the ending, because the ending of the movie I think is really fantastic, because it didn't do what Snow White and Cinderella did with like there's this big fight with a monster and like the prince goes and tries to fight to save his girl. I like that this one it's Maleficent turns into a dragon and she does all these things where the good fairies will help Philip out, but like she makes thorns everywhere, like all over the castle, all over the grounds. She becomes a dragon at the end, and then Philip has this great, fantastic sword fight with Maleficent, and he like impales her, and you see a little blood on it. I like how they showed that in a Disney movie. I thought that was pretty cool, and and that's how Maleficent dies. And I liked that it was a very climactic, rewarding end for Maleficent to go. Like that really worked in this movie. So I really loved that, and I really loved how the ending. Of course, you get the happy ending, like any of these Disney movies, but like I like how it's got the final like dance between Aurora and Philip, and even though these characters don't have much development or depth to them, I just feel so it feels so rewarding whenever they go down and start dancing, and I like how the fairies keep changing her dress while she's dancing, so she keeps changing colors because again, the animation and colors in this movie pop incredibly. But there's that incredible iconic shot that, again, this has so many iconic shots in this movie, but there's that moment at the very end, the last, like, minute of the movie where Aurora and Philip are dancing out in the castle, but then it turns into clouds. Like, they're dancing on the clouds while the song Once Upon a Dream is playing. And honestly, it gives me chills because it's just that epic and that beautiful. Like, it's just such an incredibly visually beautiful movie, and the ending shot of them dancing on the clouds is just, again, it reminds me of Snow White at the very end, where like she and the prince stop, look up at the clouds, and it becomes the form of a castle. Like, and the chorus plays in that movie too, and it just gives me goosebumps because it's just, I don't know why it's the choir that does that in Disney movies, but that one, this one in particular, is just an incredible ending shot of the movie, an incredible ending song, a great way to end it. So I really love Sleeping Beauty, and rewatching it, it really solidified how great of a Disney movie this is, and one of my favorites. It's not my absolute favorite, but it is definitely up there. It is incredible with a lot of things. So I really love this one, and I really was excited to rewatch it. And I'll review Maleficent next, so I'm going to see how I feel about that movie on rewatch, because I don't remember loving it, but I don't remember hating it. So, but I do love this one. So, overall, thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me down below what you think of the original Sleeping Beauty, and thank you so much for watching.